Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 2018 Doctor Who DVD, Blu-ray, and Target Books Collection Overview. Okay, so today we enter into the 80s with the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison. So we'll be taking a look at all the DVDs that I've got of his adventures and all of the Target novelizations as well. So let's get to it today on the Doctor Who Collection Overview on the Multimedia Chronicles. Alrighty, so after Tom Baker's epic 7-year run and John Pertwee's almost equally epic 5-year run prior to that, subsequent Doctors did shorter runs. Peter Davison only did 3 years, so 20 stories total. But one thing they did bring back for his run was two-parters, which we hadn't had since the quite early on in the Tom Baker era. I think the Sontaran Experiment was the last two-parter we'd had prior to that. So let's take a look here. So Doctor number 5, Peter Davison. So I showed this one at the end of the previous video there. We, of course, have the New Beginnings set, which contains the last 2 Tom Baker stories and the first Peter Davison story. So we'll just pull that one out here. We have Castra Valva, which wraps up the trilogy of stories that gave us the epic tale of how the Master got his new body, how the Doctor ended up regenerating, and this one is his final battle with the Master, trying to outwit him in the rather elaborate trap that he set for him while he's all disoriented from his regeneration. And then we have 4 to Doomsday, which was actually the first story that Peter Davison filmed. They did his stories slightly out of sequence. They did, I think, his first, they did stories 2, 3, and 4 of his run, and then went back and did the regeneration story, just so he'd be kind of settled in the character and be able to bring a little bit more to the performance. One of the extras on here is pretty cool. It's actually studio footage of his first day recording, so his actual first day as the Doctor in front of the cameras. Pretty cool. And then we have Kinda, which introduced us to the Mara. Very nice. And then we have one of my longtime favorites from the 5th Doctor era, the Visitation. Great stuff, really good story. And then the first of the aforementioned two-parters, and also notable in that it's the first purely historical story since, I think the Highlanders, the 2nd Doctor story, was actually the last purely historical one. Now, they did have other stories where they went into the past, but there was always some kind of alien force at work. So this was the first just pure historical story in a very, very long time. And quite a fun one. It's just a nice little murder mystery. I enjoyed it. And then we have Earth Shock, which was quite a shocking story in several ways, which I won't spoil for you if you haven't seen it. But really, really good stuff. A very chilling return of the Cybermen in this one. Very good. And then we have Time Flight, which I may need to get again, because the last time I tried to play this disc, it actually wouldn't play. I don't know why. It used to play. So, yeah, I'm thinking I might actually get the Region 2 version just because it's actually cheaper than getting the Region 1 version. So, alright. It's kind of annoying to have to replace that one, though it's not one of the better stories, so oh well. Then we have Arc of Infinity. I don't know what's with the massive pink motif of the cover here. It's not a particularly pink-hued story, but okay, we'll go with pink. Anyway, pretty cool. The return of Omega, and also notable in that it's the first appearance of Colin Baker in the story. He plays a Gallifreyan guard who actually tries to kill the Doctor, and there's always kind of a running joke that he was trying to kill the Doctor to take over the role as the Doctor, because of course he was the 6th Doctor a few years later. And then we have Snake Dance, which actually features the return of the Mara. I always really liked this one. Good stuff. And then we have the epic Black Guardian trilogy, in which the Black Guardian employs Turlo, who is a young man with a mysterious past, who may not actually be from Earth, but employs a young man with a mysterious past basically to use him as a tool to kill the Doctor. So try to lure him into his confidence and do away with him. So here we have, so it's 3 stories. We've got Modern Undead, which also features the return of the Brigadier, and actually introduces us to some time paradox events as well, where the Brigadier from the present meets with the Brigadier from the past. And it's pretty cool seeing Nicholas Courtney in the double role there. And then we have Terminus, which is all right. I always found it really slow moving, personally. It's a story where not a lot of stuff happens. I mean, it's not a bad story, but it's not great either. But then we have Enlightenment, which is freaking awesome. This is such a great story. And there's a couple versions of it on this. There's actually a director's cut version, which is actually shorter than the televised version, just kind of tightens things up a little bit, and features some improved special effects and stuff like that, and remixed audio. So pretty cool stuff. So really fun trilogy of stories there. And then we have The King's Demons, another 2-parter featuring the return of the Master. Yeah, the Master started to appear more frequently in this. So, like, once they gave him a new body, we started to see him a lot more often. And then we have probably the Doctor Who story I've rewatched more than any others. We have the 20th anniversary special, The 5 Doctors. So we have Doctors 1 through 5. Well, we kind of have Doctor 4, but we at least have Doctors 1, 2, 3, and 5 all working together to foil an evil plot on Gallifrey. And the Master's there, and the Cybermen are there, and there's like so many nods to the history of Doctor Who. This is such a fun story, and really does feel like a proper celebration of 20 years of Doctor Who. So this is the 25th anniversary edition of the 20th anniversary story. So I guess this came out for the 45th anniversary. And following that, we have Warriors of the Deep, which features the return of both the Sea Devils and the Silurians. And I'm very happy to report no Crumhorn to be heard anywhere in the soundtrack. It's just a synthesizer soundtrack, so very good. That was the one drawback of the original story. I really didn't like the music in it. I thought it really ruined the mood a lot of the time. And then we have The Awakening, another 2-parter. And then we have Frontios. This is one where we actually start to get a lot more information about Turlo's past. So finally we're starting to learn a little bit more about where he's from and what he's all about and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. It's a big breakthrough episode. And then one of the all-time classics from his from the Fifth Doctor's era, we have Resurrection of the Daleks. Great stuff. Return of Davros, Return of the Daleks, and just a really good dark story. And then we have Planet of Fire. This is a pretty major Master episode. And we meet Perry, Purple Gilliam Brown. And then one of the all-time great stories, period, of the classic era. We have the Fifth Doctor's Swan Song in the Caves of Androzani. I've rewatched this one quite a few times as well. I love this story so much. There's such a sense of impending doom throughout the entire thing. It's such just a fantastic send-off for the Fifth Doctor. And he said, actually, just generally, his last season, like I guess from the 5 Doctors on through, was so consistently excellent that he said if his other seasons had been that good, he might have considered staying on for another year or two. But by then, the decision had been made, so that's it. He was done. Now, you may notice here I also have a Region 2 set entitled Chameleon Tales, and this features the King's Demons, Planet of Fire, and the Planet of Fire Special Edition. Now, the reason I have this was sent to me by David Bunch of Numbers a while back, is because the Region 1 release of Planet of Fire is missing a rather significant extra, a big behind-the-scenes feature, which, for whatever reason, I guess, I don't know if it was music or what the issue was, but for whatever reason, they weren't able to get clearance to include it on the Region 1 set. So that's why I have the Region 2 set. So that gives us all of the extras intact. Very nice indeed. Is this a 2-disc? I can't remember. Yes, it is a 2-disc. So there we go. And we get an entire disc of special features, which is quite nice. And if we look here, yeah, no, this is a 2-disc as well. And yeah, and this also has the special edition, which is basically much like Enlightenment. It's a shorter cut with remixed audio and some other stuff here. And then King's Demons. We've got very nice set here. Again, even the 2-parters get little booklets. I don't know why we didn't get the booklets in the Region 1 sets. It's kind of annoying because it's nice to have those additional behind-the-scenes tidbits, you know. So there we go. And then we get into the novelizations. So here we've got Castrovalva. So the first story of the 5th Doctor. And we have the Visitation. I don't know why, but some of the 5th Doctor stories, they went with like really lazy covers, like just a photo. And that's it. Like literally a publicity photo of Peter Davison or something. Like it just, really? That's, like here's another one, Earthshock. Like where's our beautiful painted cover of Earth? You know, there's so much potential for a beautiful painted cover, and this is what we get. Just a shot of the Doctor from the show. Written by Ian Marter, though. Very cool. Always excited to see him as the author of these. He was quite a good writer. And then we have Time Flight. So I guess if I can't watch the DVD, I can at least read the novelization, you know? There you go. And then we have Terminus. Again, not just another photo cover. Nothing really all that exciting. This seems to be a slightly longer one. It's 159 pages. That's quite a bit longer. So there you go. And Time Flight. Yeah, Time Flight even was just a photograph. The Doctor by the Concorde. This is a more interesting picture. Then we have the 5 Doctors. This is the first edition. There is a second edition as well, which has the exact same banner on it. It just says second edition. That's literally the only difference. But nice shiny cover. Very nice. I actually read the novelization before seeing the show, because the novelization came out before the show here. And then we have the novelization of the Caves of Androzani. So we've got the beginning and end of the 5th Doctor's era here. But there's still quite a few gaps, as you can see. And then just for completion's sake, I also have Goth Opera, which is one of the Virgin books, Missing Adventures. This takes place between Snake Dance and Modern Undead, and is actually a follow-up to Blood Harvest, which was a 7th Doctor New Adventures book. And there you have it. So that's every single adventure of the 5th Doctor. Yeah, I do still need to get quite a few of the Target books, but it's getting there. I'm kind of getting the Target books in order of Doctors, so you may notice I got more of like the 1st Doctor and stuff like that, and it's just kind of scattered through the rest of them. But all in good time. All in good time. Alrighty, so next time we will take a look at what is sadly the shortest reign of any Doctor in the classic era, namely Colin Baker, the 6th Doctor. We'll take a look at all the stuff from his adventures that I've got, and yeah, I'll see you then. Until then, thanks for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors, and sayonara. Hola, fuckers! Well, let's take a look at the fucking 5th Doctor, shall we? Okay. I don't know what that was or where it came from, but there it is. How's it going, eh? Want to look at some Doctor Who, eh? Yeah? Okay, eh? Oh yeah, I like Doctor Who. Alrighty, so today we enter into the 80s. with the entire run of the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison. Yeah, so he was